So we left off with a tough loss in a fight, kind of spiraling downhill, the death of a friend. The perfect storm for fucking bullshit, especially when you're mentally weak. And um, I continued to make excuses. I continued to, well, I can't do this because I'm depressed. I can't do this because there's not enough time in the day. And, slowly but surely, she started to fade away. And, um, I'm playing video games all the time, fucking just being a loser. And, it's easy to not think you're a loser when you're a loser, man. It was hard for a man to look in the mirror and say to that person, "You are a fucking scrub." And unfortunately, it took me far too long before I was able to do that. And after this, what are we? We were at a week of fucking doing the right things. I'm no fucking hero. I'm no fuck. You can take what I say with a grain of salt. You could say, listen to this fucking fat hypocrite. He's probably gonna fucking be drinking next week. Um, I know that I'm not. I know I've never been more determined in my life. Um, just to never go back to a certain place or a certain way. Um, what I'm gonna do? I thought about ways that I bought this chain to put our rings on. I thought about different ways that I can kind of just keep the memory of us alive, and when I get to wherever it is that I'm trying to get to, whether it be a certain way, a certain mindset, certain financial place where I can feel like, I did it for both of us because, um, as I've always said throughout this whole thing, man, she deserved it. And, she deserved it. And I didn't deliver. Yeah. I fucking gotta live with that for good. Uh, there's certain stuff you're happy to take to the grave with you. Your success stories. You graduate from high school, your first car, your this, your that. Uh, I gotta take away pissing away my marriage to my grave with me. And that's heavy shit. Uh, plus my daughters. Um, Me and her, we're gonna sit down with them and talk. Try to hopefully show them two adults can separate and it can be for the best and it doesn't have to be animosity. Um, she's been a beyond good stepmother to these girls, and I couldn't have ever asked for better. And that's so heartbreaking to me. But she's maintained that if they want to stay in contact, they're always more than welcome. They're always more than welcome to come here. She wants to remain part of their lives, and I hope to God that that's true. Because if I fuck that up for them, uh, so I I can swallow. I'm not sure how I would, you know. what I'm gonna do. But we're not gonna think about that. She has been kept her word about things, so I don't have any reason to feel that that would be different. And I know she loves them. Um, so why would you want to, you know, just not have anything to do with somebody that you love just because, you don't love somebody that they're associated with anymore? So, I mean, that I do. I have the utmost faith that at least their relationship will somewhat continue, and to whatever extent both of them want it to, um, or the three of them want it to. Um, I guess now is one of the. This will be one of the first videos where we talk about turning points and what's when you gotta know when it's time. Um, Listen, when once a woman doesn't care, once it becomes whatever, you're already almost dead in the water. You really need to get your shit together then, because women, unlike men, they don't lash out. They don't have that like anger, like when like breaking point. Their breaking point, they just hold stuff in, and then there's a real breaking point after them when they can't hold it in anymore. And once they've decided that they've moved on, it's uh it's next to impossible to change their mind. You know, I've thrown out every fucking scenario. I said I'd live in the fucking shed. I said, listen, I'll live in the shed. We have an oversized shed. It's more like a garage, small garage. I said I'll finish the shed. I'll put you know a bed, a couch, TV out there, and a dresser. I'll stay out there until you're happy with my success. And yeah, she kind of laughed at that. Then I brought up living downstairs in the basement. Pardon me. It was a similar reaction. Yeah, what are you fucking stupid? Which I am. I'm trying to save something that probably has no way of being saved. uh, to not hate myself for good, because I know that once this is over, no matter how happy I am about the progress I've made and I'm making, there's going to be a period that's similar to when you lose like a funeral, similar to when you lose a loved one. I know that life for when it's official for some period is going to get very very dark, and I'm gonna more than ever have to rely on the people that are in my life still, the positive things, my jiu-jitsu family, my daughters, my family, and you know just stay the course. Failure is not an option. It's just I'm 40 almost. When I make the video on my 41st birthday, I want to be so healthy and proud that we're gonna look back at these videos and be like, who the fuck was that guy? You know? But I'm glad we took his advice. Um, I told her and I was like, you know, don't hate me, hate him. Him being, the me with drugs, the me with alcohol. Like when I go to the gym and I'm running away from him. When I go to jujitsu, I'm crushing him into the ground, and um, I don't think that it's possible on her end, but it's the only option on my end. So I guess that's a good point to wrap it up. In conclusion, do what you say, mean what you say. Don't just say the things to go through the motions because when she leaves and you're left there with your fucking Zozo in your hand, looking stupid, feeling stupid, it's awful. It's not something I'd wish on anybody. So do right, and yeah. So as always, this isn't a tragedy. It's about redemption and repair. Thank you for watching, and if nobody told you they love you, I love you, and stay blessed.